Oh. Hi folks, how you doing? So today is the 8th of October, or Saturday 8th of October, 2022, and yeah, I am once again on my usual spot in downtown Sydney. I did a little clip earlier. I was at the ferry wharf waiting for my ferry to get here because I got to do a little bit of shopping, and I thought to myself, perfect opportunity to do another video to edify the church in what is now a stalemate between Russia and the West, and also between Israel and Hezbollah. And nobody seems to know exactly, where all this is going next, And in my view, we always got to view the whole geopolitical panorama, if you like, and look at it through the lens of the Bible, or, what Bible prophecies are telling us that is going to happen. And so you guys know that I'm the EMC square, or the Rapture of the church. That's right, puzzle solved. And that you guys know also that I am the reformer of the Rapture of the church. That's right, like I did on my previous video, I'm the reformer, just like Martin Luther was did the work on the Reformation in the 1500s. That's right, I'm the reformer and the EMC square of the Rapture of the church. And I'd rather walk along on this path than walk the path with other people that don't believe, or that don't have the same opinion that I have regarding this. I'd rather walk alone and just walk along with the Lord together, in this, because God gave me all this, and and I was very happy and very much eager to share it with you guys. Okay, so I got about 6 pages. Yeah, I got 6 more pages, and this morning I woke up, right, and it was roughly about 7:30 a.m. and I thought, gee whiz, I started watching YouTube videos, various YouTube channels on different things, and nobody seems to be able to have an answer as to what's next, And then I started thinking, for the next 2 hours, how can I resolve this, and how can I edify the church with what's next with regards to Israel's timetable? And I have found a solution. I think that you like this video. Okay, now let me just put my pages here next to me. Okay, now, so what's next in the prophetic? Well, we know that Zelensky appeals to the international community to do a preemptive strikes on Russia rather than wasting time and allow Russia to make nuclear strikes. Okay, so this is what President Vladimir Zelensky has said in recent days. He wants the West to make a preemptive strike on Russia. Do it now, gang up on Russia now before Russia does it to us. And as a result of this, Russia is now fuming, and the whole situation now is in a stalemate. Some people thinking that could this be World War III? No, I don't think so, and I'll tell you why in a moment. So don't panic about it. I know that America has bought a lot of pills, to deal with radiation effects and things like that, and some of you are saying that Vladimir Putin is going to a bunker, whatever. Don't worry about it, any of that. It's not going to happen. Now, you guys know that Russia has been rather quiet in the Ukraine since annexing those 4 major regions, okay, from the Ukraine. And the Ukraine is taking advantage of this and going back and gaining territory. And according to the latest news, they have gained something like 500 square kilometers of territory, or 310 miles, while Russia is kind of like scratching their heads, thinking what they're going to do next. And so with this stalemate and the help that the West is offering the Ukraine, hang on, I'm just going to be turning the next page. Russia is looking really weak in the eyes of the international community. That's right. because the situation is at a stalemate, Russia's looking really weak, and they're getting a little bit desperate, and so they're thinking, so what's next? Okay, so what's next then in terms of the prophetic? Well, next in the prophetic, the Bible teaches that we got the Secret War of 38, 39. So you might ask yourself, well, how's this going to unfold with this stalemate that we got right now? Okay, now we're going to talk a little bit about Hezbollah and Israel, how those two now are at a stalemate. Okay, now the fact that Hezbollah has threatened Israel over its gas deal with Lebanon, asking for Lebanon to get more from the deal, or else that will declare war on Israel. So you might know about this gas deal that Israel has done recently in the last week or so with Lebanon. Lebanon is asking for more out of that deal, out of that gas deal, and Israel is refusing. And so Hezbollah is saying, hey, if you don't give Lebanon more from this gas deal, we're actually going to intervene. And they're actually declaring war on Israel. And so Hezbollah has threatened Israel over its gas deal with Lebanon. And by declaring this war on Israel, by Hezbollah declaring war on Israel, okay, this tells me that the Bible prophecy is next. That's right. What's going to break this stalemate is actually Iran. It's not going to be Russia. No, Russia now, in my view, I don't believe that Russia is going to do anything, because the West has threatened Russia. The West has said to Russia by using Zelensky, to make this statement about, hey, why don't we do a preemptive strike on Russia? Russia is taking this seriously. And so this is kind of like the West announcing, to Russia, like, don't you dare go and nuke, the Ukraine, or else, this is going to be, a nuclear World War III. And so Russia is scratching their heads, and this issue now is at a stalemate. But yet we know that we got 4 Bible prophecies impending. We got the Bible prophecy, which I think it's next, followed by Isaiah 17.1, because the Bible prophecy in Isaiah 17.1, that got to happen before the Secret War, because after the Secret War, we're going to have the Antichrist showing up to sign the covenant with Israel, as per Daniel 9:27 and Isaiah 28:15. So what's going to break the stalemate, in my view, after I thought about this, really well, is that the fact that Hezbollah has threatened Israel. I believe that the Bible prophecy is going to be fulfilled next, because there is no way that Hezbollah could threaten Israel when, thinking that somehow they're going to win, when they know themselves that, Israel is a world superpower. Israel can annihilate Hezbollah quite easily, Yeah, sure enough, I heard that Hezbollah has missiles pointing to Israel, but so does Israel as well. Israel has a war plan. They've been training for this for quite a while. They know what to do. They know how to annihilate Hezbollah and Hamas and so on. And so, what I'm saying here is that, because of Iran, is because Hezbollah, the way I see it is because Hezbollah has threatened Israel in such a showy way, if you like showing all sort of thing. This tells me that Iran is probably, probably already has, enriched, nuclear material, if you like, or uranium, to put it into missiles, because, the fact that Hezbollah is making this threat, and we know that Hezbollah is fully backed by Iran. It's an Iranian proxy. Iran doesn't do anything unless Iran tells them what to do. This tells me that Iran must be very close now to nuclear capability, very close to putting something into a missile with this threat. And I'm thinking now that Israel is going to go for this Elam Bible prophecy. But let me tell you more in a minute. So let me catch up here. So, yeah, this tells me that the Elam Bible prophecy is next. Well, for Hezbollah to threaten Israel in such a big manner, and knowing very well that Israel can wipe them out, means that Iran right now must possess the nuclear capability and the missile technology confident enough to take on Israel. So let me go to page 3 here. Okay. And from a military point of view, Hezbollah, we know that, like I said before, that Hezbollah is controlled by Iran. It's financed by Iran, and they are told what to do by Iran. And so we all know that Iran has been using the latest technology with the centrifuges, okay, to rapid fire the processing of uranium for its missiles, okay, to go to war against Israel, because we know that the Iranian eschatology is to go to war with Israel because they're also waiting for the Messiah as well. So, so whilst Israel looks like, so this means that, Israel looks like doing or fulfilling the Elam Bible prophecy very soon, and soon after Isaiah 17.1, Damascus in a heap of ruin before the Ezekiel 38 and 39 war. So we will see the fulfillment of these two prophecies happening very shortly. And so this is what is going to break the stalemate in Russia, okay, because Russia is not doing anything at the moment, and because Israel is going to be fulfilling Elam and Isaiah, okay. In other words, Elam and Damascus are both going to be a heap of ruins, that's two cities, and because Iran and Syria have like a very strong military accord with Russia is going to intervene and help them out. And this is going to be, what's going to break the stalemate, the Ezekiel war coming, if you like, Ezekiel 38, 39 war coming. So, And meanwhile, okay, while Turkey and Libya has signed off, give me one sec, they have signed off a military maritime deal, which is for military and commercial reasons, okay? The Bible tells us that Turkey and Libya and Sudan are the next hooks in that jaw, okay? So Vladimir Putin got his hook in that jaw, like I said on my previous video, in the last week or so, when they announced that they were going to be increasing their armies, okay? And so up to 1 million soldiers. So that this means now that, in the last week or so, Russia has already been hooked in that jaw, and now with this maritime deal that that Turkey has signed with Libya, it means that now these two nations have hooks in that jaw. So now Turkey and Libya officially have their hooks in that jaw. Now we're just waiting for Sudan. Now the issue with Sudan is a little bit interesting. We know that Sudan is going to be the last nation to be hooked in that jaw. Now how this is going to pan out is going to be interesting. I'm not too sure. We have to wait on the Geo-Political to see how it unfolds, perhaps, because Turkey and Libya has signed this maritime deal, okay, for commercial and military, agreements, if you like. They might also ask Sudan to join them, and then they will get that hook in that jaw. Or when the secret war begins, they might rip up the accord with Israel and just come down for the war anyway. So we'll see how all this pans out. Now, so yeah, officially now Turkey and Libya have also the hooks in that jaw by signing this maritime agreement. And so, yeah, so okay, so let me move on to the next page, page number 5. Just bear with me. Bear with me, because what I'm saying here is pretty important, so that you know the whole picture, the whole scenario. So in a nutshell, let me summarize all this for you. In a nutshell, it looks to me like Iran will trigger the secret war and bring Russia out from the stalemate, okay? Now remember that God is in control at all times of everything. However, God allows the wicked principalities to do their evil work in order that they might be charged and the Bible prophecies might be fulfilled. I'll get back into the natural in a moment, but let me just read what God is, how God is allowing all this now. If you read Revelation 17:17, okay, it says, "For God has put in the hearts to fulfill His will, and to agree and to give the kingdoms unto the beast until the words of God shall be fulfilled." So we know now that countries are giving up their kingdoms unto the beast. If you consider everything that has happened in the geo-political, okay? We had this COVID, the lockdowns, the world economy just about collapsing right now. I believe that the UK is on the verge of bankruptcy. We know that Klaus Wash wants his great reset and so on. And so you guys know what is happening. You guys are watching. So yeah, in a nutshell, get ready for the Elam Bible prophecy, followed by Isaiah, Ezekiel, the covenant, and then the rapture of the church. So that is it, folks, in a nutshell. So just to recap with everything that I said, I hope that you guys have heard me well, because I wasn't able to put my microphone piece on my mouth, and I'm in a shopping center, as you can imagine. There's a little bit of noise. So basically, we got Russia and the West at a stalemate. I don't think Russia has been threatened now big time by the West, and I don't think that Russia is going to pull the trigger anymore. I think that they're going to stay put where they are, because America and the West has threatened them, with retaliation, because Russia has been threatening America and the Ukraine, and the West, if you like, the Europeans as well, with nuclear war, and the West has said, by using Zelensky, has said, look, Zelensky is coming and saying, hey, preemptive strike, meaning, hey, the West told me to say this to you, Russia, stay put, because if you do a nuclear strike on us, we'll do it back to you. And so Russia now is scratching their heads, and they are at a stalemate, and nobody knows what's next. But I know what's next, because I analyzed all this. I looked at the whole panorama, because Russia needs to move, because the fact that Russia now is at a stalemate, Russia is looking very weak to the international community. The international community is saying, hey, what is happening with this big-time cowboy called Vladimir Putin, all talk and no action. So he's looking really bad, and so he needs to do something. And what's going to trigger Russia to do something is what's happening now with Hezbollah and Israel. Okay, so the fact that also Hezbollah and Israel are at a stalemate now, because Lebanon and Israel have broken or have stopped these negotiations with the gas deal, because Israel very kindly offer Lebanon. They didn't have to, but they offer Lebanon a deal. Hey, you can have something if you want. If you behave, stay quiet, we'll give you something. We know you're poor now, and in dire straits, okay, but now Lebanon, very wickedly said to Israel, we want more. And Israel said, no, you're lucky that you're getting something in the first place. We've been very kind to you. And so Hezbollah has come out saying to Israel, hey, either you kill Lebanon more, or we'll declare war on you. And by Hezbollah declaring war on Israel, this can only mean one thing, that Hezbollah is actually backed up by Iran. Hezbollah can do nothing unless Iran tells them to do so, because they are financed by Iran as well. Hezbollah is a proxy of Iran, and so the fact that Hezbollah has boldly threatened Israel like this, knowing that they can get annihilated by Israel, it must mean to me that that Iran now must have some sort of nuclear capability, because we know that recently that they have in recent times they have purchased centrifuges to enrich uranium at a much faster rate. So and we all know in the news has been telling us that Iran is very close now, and so that they probably have something right now, okay, in my view, or very close, some uranium material that they can put into a missile, and because otherwise they wouldn't be making such a big threat. Iran through Hezbollah wouldn't be making such a big threat. They know that they must have something to back themselves up. How else can they defeat Israel by having nuclear capabilities? So this tells me that Iran has nuclear capability, and that now they are able to afford to threaten Israel, so that they can put all this uranium into a missile. We know that Iran has been working in its missile technology in recent times, and so it's going to happen. That this is going to trigger the Elam Bible prophecy, and the Elam Bible prophecy. Soon, I believe, Israel will go on a mission, annihilate Elam, the area of Elam, and the Bashir nuclear power reactor that's there. And a lot of Iranians will flee to the four corners of the world, like it says in Jeremiah 49, the Elam Bible prophecy. You'll find it in Jeremiah 49, verses 34 to 39. And so this looks like what's next to me, the Elam Bible prophecy. The Elam Bible prophecy is what's going to trigger, it's what's going to break that stalemate that's right now, because also Russia needs to come down, not only for the spoils, but to show face to the world that, hey, I'm a big shot, I'm a cowboy, I'm a Western cowboy. And so when Israel goes and annihilate this Elam, area, and with its Bashir nuclear power reactor, obviously it's going to be shocking news, and obviously, Iran is going to get on the phone to Vladimir Putin, hey, come and rescue us. We sign a military deal with you guys. And also they're going to be having to do a 17.1. In other words, Damascus being a heap of ruin, because we need these two swept away before Ezekiel 38, 39, because once Israel touches these two, I believe they're going to do Elam first, followed by Isaiah 17.1 by the looks of what's happening now in the Geo-Political, and then the Ezekiel war will begin, because once Israel fulfills Elam and Isaiah 17.1, on the phone, Syria and Iran to Vladimir Putin come down. Turkey will get on the mix as well, because they also don't like Israel either. And then Turkey has been the latest hook with Libya. Libya will come down because they already got hooks and Daicho. And perhaps very shortly we'll see perhaps Turkey and Libya doing a deal with Sudan, because they're also part of the Ezekiel 38, 39 war, or that they might join them and break these accords with Israel and might join them for the Ezekiel war. So I think that this is how it's all going to pan out, according to how I'm analyzing the Geo-Political now. Okay, because I have been telling you that we need these 4 Bible prophecies that are impending and in front before the rapture of the church, and we can't have the rapture of the church until these 4 are fulfilled, because these 4 are Israel's timetable that will trigger the rapture of the church. And I know that the Christian community they don't believe me in what I'm saying here. That's fine with me. It's not that will prove you wrong. God will prove you wrong, because the Bible is a book of prophecies, past, present, and future. So I didn't write the Bible, God did. That will come to pass, because Jesus told us that every single Bible prophecy will come to pass, and Jesus' words will prove you wrong. So, so it doesn't bother me one bit if I have to walk with this issue alone. That's fine with me. I know that I'm right. And I am the EMC square of the rapture of the church. I am the reformer of the rapture of the church. I've done plenty of videos, and I think that this is what's next. Don't forget that when we analyze the Geo-Political, no matter what it is, we always got to analyze it through the lens and in context of what end-time Bible prophecies are telling us in the Bible, because the Bible is a very accurate and a 100% accurate document. So everything has to be, when we analyze the Geo-Political, put it all back in context to what the Bible is saying. So I think that this is what gonna break the stalemate, because, like I said on top of my video, Russia's looking really bad now. They're at a stalemate. The West has used Zelensky to say to Russia, hey, why don't we do a preemptive strike on you guys? In other words, hey, Russia, no, don't come to us with your nuclear weapons against us or against the West, because we'll do it back to you. And so Vladimir Putin now is going like this in his bunker or wherever he is right now. I can think, gee, we are looking pretty bad, you know, in the international with all of this. And so, you know, coincidentally, you know, Hezbollah has provoked Israel, and I think that the Elam Bible prophecy is next. Coincidentally, bearing in mind what I told you about Revelation 17:17, that God is allowing all this to happen. He's allowing all the principalities to happen in order that the Bible prophecy might be fulfilled. Bear that in mind, extremely key and very important. So notice how everything is being aligned. Notice how the chessboard, you know, the pieces in the chessboard are all being aligned for a final checkmate. And what's going to be the final checkmate? God defeating this great Northern army and glorifying himself at the end of the Secret War 38-39. And by God glorifying himself, you know, more people will see the power of God. Unlike they haven't seen in 2,000 years since Jesus left. More people will believe in Jesus, and more people will go out at the rapture of the church. And the Secret War is the next and greatest prophetic event in God's calendar, because God is going to glorify himself, like I just told you, and like he hasn't in 2,000 years. More people will get saved, and then obviously we'll have the rapture of the church. But we will see the Antichrist, because he needs to, you know, Israel needs to sign the covenant as per Daniel 9:27 or Isaiah 20:15. Once it's done, full stop. Then the Antichrist shows up, bang, rapture of the church. When the rapture of the church, Revelation 6 begins. That's right. Once Israel signs the covenant with the Antichrist, he shows up, rapture, bang, finished, end of the dispensation, and then Revelation 6 begins. That's right. Revelation 6 begins, and the white horse of the Antichrist comes out, you know, with full might and power to rule for the next 7 years. So, I think I'm pretty accurate in what I'm saying, because I don't know how else this Talmud is gonna, you know, I don't, you know, it's, I don't know how else, how it can be broken. And coincidentally, that Hezbollah has threatened Israel now. If Hezbollah is threatening Israel like this in a big way or big time, it can only mean that, and they are backed by Iran. It can only mean that, you know, if Iran wants to back themselves up in a war against Israel, they must have already enriched enough uranium to put uranium into their missiles, into the high-tech missiles, and you know, back themselves up against Israel and got to war with Israel. So the fact that Hezbollah, it's another. When you say Hezbollah, you can say Iran, okay? Practically, when you mention Hezbollah, you can say, okay, an army of Iran in the southern Lebanese border, or on top of the Israeli northern border. That's what you need to be thinking as, you know, Iran in the northern border of Israel, or the southern border of Lebanon. That's all it is. It's just Iran. And so the fact that they've done this, that they might have threat like this to Israel, yeah, you don't mess with Israel. I'm telling you, you don't mess with Israel. Israel, you know, God supports Israel in this because of Bible prophecy. Israel is not going to lose. All these evil and wicked people, Iran, Syria, Hamas, Russia, Turkey, Sudan and Libya, all these wicked people that are coming against the apple of God's side, Israel, they're going to suffer big time. They're going to be annihilated. You know, only 1/6 of their army is going to be, it's going to remain in this greatest secret war. So this is very interesting, and I think that this is what's going to break the great stalemate worldwide that we're having now between Hezbollah and Israel, and between Russia and the West. It's going to be the Elam Bible prophecy. The Elam Bible prophecy will happen next, in my view, according to my analysis. And, you know, and then this is obviously going to be a domino effect all the way to the rapture of the church. Now, I woke up this morning because obviously I heard all this news just like you guys, and I've been searching on the news on the news wars. Does anybody know what's next? Nobody knows what's next. And so I decided, gee whiz, I tried to go to the Holy Spirit. Holy Spirit, can you help me decipher all this? You know, this time it didn't take me moments. It took me about 2 to 2.5 hours because I had to do a complete and thorough analysis on all this on the Geo-Political as to how these 4 Bible prophecies that are Israel's timetable can work all seamlessly all the way to the rapture of the church with all the major contenders like Russia, you know, obviously, you know, Iran, Hezbollah, you know, there's 2 entities that are the same. Okay, so you got Syria and so on, you know, Turkey, you know. So like I said in the bottom of my video, Turkey and Libya with the latest maritime deal. They already got the hooks in that show. That's a hooks in that show now, folks. We're just waiting on Sudan. Sudan is a little bit tricky because they signed an accord, and Abraham can go with Israel, but so I'm not exactly sure what's going to happen next. It could be that Turkey and Libya offer Sudan, you know, part of this maritime deal that they just signed last week or in the last few days and so on. Or it could be that they might just join, you know, Turkey, Libya, you know, Iran, Syria, and so on for the Ezekiel war. We'll see what pans out. It's a little bit early to tell because Sudan is still part of the Abraham Accords right now, so nothing has happened. So this is what I wanted to say with this video, folks, you know. Very, very interesting. We'll see how it all pans out. But I think it's going to happen this way because the stomach has to be broken. Russia can't afford to look foolish in the eyes of the international world. Something has to happen, and what a coincidence that Hezbollah has threatened Israel. What a biblical coincidence, you know, like God said in Revelation 17:17 that He's going to allow all this to happen, you know, so that everybody can hand over the kingdoms to the beast, so that in order that the Bible prophecy might be fulfilled. Exactly, Israel's timetable. So we're going to see, like to recap and to finalize this video, 30 odd minutes, okay? We're going to see Elam first, according to my analysis. Then we're going to see Isaiah, because Elam in Isaiah has to happen before Ezekiel. And then we're going to see Ezekiel. And then, you know, at the end of that, obviously the signing of the covenant. Bang, rapture of the church. The, Revelation 6 starts with a rider on the white horse, which is the Antichrist. So problem solved, puzzle solved, folks.